We're back at Deakin Stadium in the heart of the national capital. It's the NPL2 Grand Final and a first for us on Bar TV as we show the NPL2 series. It's O'Connor Knights versus ANU FC. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator. Joining me, former Monero Panthers women's head coach Ian Worthington. Ian, two teams that have genuine hopes of playing in NPL1 next year when promotion and relegation comes in, set for their big day this afternoon. Weather's good, a bit breezy, but we're expecting a really exciting match.
Good afternoon, Russ. Good afternoon, everyone. Looking forward to a great tie between these two sides. Should be a really close game, and really excited to see which of the two clubs has got the biggest aspirations to do play in the NPL 1 next year.
Both these sides have got some form. ANU FC have been in the last 5 grand finals. This is their 6th in a row. They are going for 5 wins in a row as well. They lost in 2014, won in 15, 16, 17, 18. A couple of spanking wins over that time as well. 6-3 in 2016 over Queanbeyan, 5-1 over the Knights in 2017 when Chase Dean scored all 5 goals, and a 6-1 win last year against White Eagles. They know how to perform on the big occasion.
They do, and let's see if they can do it again today. Certainly O'Connor will match them, I think, and I think it's going to be a tight affair, to be honest.
To their credit, O'Connor Knights played them twice this season, and you have beaten them twice. 3-1 in round 9, goals from Robert Hristic, Thomas Costantini and Josip Jadric. And in round 18, a 2-0 win at ANU, goals from Nick Tyther and Dylan DeMontis, which gave O'Connor, the White Eagles, a championship because it knocked ANU from 1st to 3rd. It
did, and although White Eagles won the ladder, it's O'Connor Knights and ANU who send us into the grand final.
Yes, because both these sides have knocked out the White Eagles in straight sets. Teams coming out onto the field, the Knights in their black shirts, all black kits, and ANU in their traditional blue and white stripes. Let's go through the two sides, starting with the Knights. Miro Trinic has picked a 3-4-3 this afternoon. Jason Denham in goal, Dylan DeMontis, Nick Tyther and Kynan Dodd across the back. A midfield 3 of Aldi Cummins, Marko Savkovic, Adam Shashelja and Brandon Hawker, Robert Hristic, and then in front of those two, Danny Krajic and Josip Jadric.
I think interesting formation. They'll have the attacking midfielder behind the front two, and there's a lot of pace in the front line at O'Connor Knights.
ANU always play 4-3-3. Unsurprising, they've gone with that again. It's a settled lineup for Jim Dawson and his team. Jake Bradley in goal, James Ghazi, Ewan Peterkin, Jan Voyner and Tom Crosley across the back. Nick Hope, Nelson Carey and Chase Deans in the middle. Tim Lopez, Andrew Manley and Max Mottel up front, which means their leading goal scorer, Rowan Peterkin, with 15 goals, is on the bench. Interesting
decision by the coach, but I think they're going to get at him from the off, and I'm very much looking forward to watching Chase Deans today. Great pedigree, and he's the one for the big occasion.
As I mentioned, when these two sides met in the 2017 Grand Final, he had the game of his life. All 5 goals in a 5-1 win. Just to get 1 goal in a Grand Final, it's good, isn't it? But when you're getting all 5 for your team, that's some occasion.
Yeah, and he's more than capable of dominating this game today, and he could cause a bit of a headache for the opponents today.
The referee this afternoon is Greg Taylor, a man with some A-League experience on the line. He's joined by Alex Toomey and Cameron Shelton. Nathan Shakespeare is the 4th official. Smattering the fans on the far side. Fair few to our right in the commentary position here at Deakin Stadium. Enjoying the sunshine.
Yeah, they've all come over this side. I don't know whether it's to hear the waffle that you and I are going to speak for the next 90 minutes, but...
well, there is a pancake stall down there, Ian, so that might well be why they're here.
Certainly, yeah. We didn't go without noticing that on the way past, did we?
We didn't get any, though, did we? We left it too late.
No. Maybe, if we speak nicely enough about them, we'll get a freebie at half-time.
Something like Nutella pancakes would go down quite well right now, wouldn't they?
Wouldn't they just? Might blow off up here, but, you never know.
Looking at the teams, how they got here. Elimination final, ANU 2, Queanbeyan City 1. The qualification final, Knights 2, White Eagles 2. And the Knights winning 5-4 on penalties. And in the preliminary final, a goal from Jan Voyner 2 minutes into added time knocked out the White Eagles and gave ANU progression to the competition conclusion this afternoon. And that was a little bit of a surprise to some people.
A little bit of a surprise, but that would put them on such a high going into this afternoon's game, wouldn't it? The late goal. And just looking over as the game's ready to start, they really look up for it, ANU. They did get to the Federation Cup semi-finals, of course, this year, and were a couple of minutes away from sending a game to extra time. Andrew Manley saw his penalty saved against Canberra FC at Hawker, which would have sent the game to penalties. They lost that one 2-1. They'll be looking to make amends this afternoon. Andrew Manley, it is
over the ball in the centre circle, who'll look to get this game underway. Got to be honest, if we're having a battle of the kits, I think the Knights have won this one for me.
Yeah, they look smart, don't they? You can see the numbers as well properly.
It's pretty good, isn't it? Both kits, numbers and shirts. No excuse for us.
No, well, I'm sure we'll make them up as we go along. But yeah, both teams ready to go, and I'm looking forward to this one. Should be an exciting, tight game.
We saw two cracking grand finals yesterday in the men's and women's first grades. It's a time for the NPL2 players to shine. And NU will attack the goal to our right in the early stages. It's Nick Hope. First ball forwards. We're expecting a fast start, Manly, and he's been cleaned up already. First foul took about 10 seconds. It was Nick Tyler, was it?
Yeah, we're expecting Tyler to really try and run the game from the back for O'Connor Knights this afternoon. A wealth of experience. In his mid-30s now, and he should certainly look after the younger midfield players that are sat in front of him.
It's a chase for Tim Lopez. Nod forward by Hope. Helped on its way by Ghazi. Manley in with the challenge. It's Tyler who sends it forwards. To his opposite number, skipper at the other end, Jan Voyner. It's his goal. That got them here. Early stages of grand finals are always nervy affairs.
Yeah, it's going to be tight, it's going to be cagey. I think the turnover of possession is going to be pretty regular, but, you know, that's what you often get in a grand final while both teams try and work each other out.
Walker won the free kick. They've gone early. Savkovic tried to play it through. And there's a chance on the break for Nelson Carey. He's got runners outside him. There's a heck of a lot of space here for Max Mottle. He's got Manley in the middle. Mottle bearing down on goal himself. Early chance for ANU. Denied by the tackling DeMontis back there, I believe that was.
There's going to be a real contrast in styles here. You know, O'Connor have gone with the back three. And ANU probably aware of that, which is why they're already high and wide in their 4-3-3 formation.
DeMontis finds Savkovic. Loose pass from the midfielder. A few jitters for him too. That midfield battle is going to be crucial today, you would think.
Yeah, it's got to be, because O'Connor Knights have got to be looking to win that one, because if ANU get in possession, we can already see how high and wide Mottle is, the 11 for ANU, and it looks like they'll try and get him in at every time wide of the back three of O'Connor Knights.
Kind of Dodd's done us a disservice today and swapped his shirt number just before kickoff. Always love it when that happens.
We enjoy a challenge stood up here, that's for sure.
Jason Denham, vast experienced goalkeeper, to get us back and away. Looking for Shashelja in midfield. Won by Hope. Hooked on by Oldie Cummins. Do possess, as you said, Ian, a bag full of pace in Yardrich up front, and 31-year-old Danny Kracic, no slouch himself. Got 18 goals last year to lead the goal scoring charts for O'Connor Knights. Weighed in with a few this year as well. Yeah,
and I think with them playing with the front two, I think already you can see he's the one to look and come and get on the ball and link up. And you've got the pace of Jadrich. It's going to try and get him behind, I would have thought.
Knows this stadium very well. Josip Jadrich, formerly of Canberra FC. Once scored 9 goals in an under-20s game on this venue. Which is no mean feat, is it? No, and is going to, having a front two is going to be a threat when O'Connor Knights get in possession of the ball. So many teams play just one up top these days, or one up top with 2 wide players. But straight away we see that O'Connor Knights are very, very narrow with their front two. It's a hugely ambitious effort from Tom Crossley from a mile out. I mentioned these sides finished 2nd and 3rd on the ladder.
Yeah, and that tightness in competition and the lovely weather today has certainly brought the crowd out. Most certainly on the near side, enjoying the sunshine rather than being under the roof over the far side.
You can see how the wind affected that kick from Denham, though. It just looped around in the air and went straight out of play.
Yeah, we're very familiar from recent games with how the wind can dictate this stadium, and it swirls, doesn't it, rather than just blows from one end to the other.
Ghazi tries to roll it through the middle. Tyther's there. Ball sent forwards. Voyner under pressure from Kracic. Chance for Crossley. Likes to get forward, Tom Crossley. Did score a goal against Belconnen in the Federation Cup upset earlier in the year. Here's Hawker. Can only find Nelson Carey in the middle of the park. Here's Chase Deans.
And it's ANU are just a little bit more patient in possession at the moment.
Manley's pulled away from Dodd, but defenders back to win it off him. Shelja, who was very impressive last week in the win over the Knights in the semi-final, fortnight ago I should say. Here he is again, the midfielder. To force the issue, and here's a chance perhaps on the break and opportunity for Kracic to get into the penalty area, and he's doing well here, and that's a good piece of defending at the back from big Jan Voyner to concede the first set piece of the afternoon.
Voynen's recovery run was excellent, and the timing of the tackle was great, but the front two of O'Connor Knights have certainly posed a threat, and we spoke about their pace, and it was evident there.
Tyther's gone forward, as has Dodd. De Montes getting involved as well, so sending the big fellas up. Plenty of tall timber to aim for the O'Connor Knights. If Yardridge could pick one out. Swung towards the far post. Crossley's won the header. Kerry looks to get rid. And managed to do so. Anywhere will do. Whole heap of time for Aldi Cummins to pick a pass. Finds Savkovic. He looked for Kracic, but Crossley had watched it all the way.
Yeah, just a little bit forced from back to front there.
Touch for Jake Bradley, the goalkeeper. In the early stages of this NPL2 final live on Bar TV Sports.
Yeah, O'Connor Knights pressing very, very well through midfield.
Hawker with the throw. Yardrich helps it on. And Peterkin, that's a cool piece of defending from Ewan Peterkin.
It certainly looks like there's a lot of experience in that back line for ANU. Certainly in control, and you're looking to see whether they can control the game from there. Pace might be an issue in behind them, so don't be surprised if they do drop a little bit deeper.
Deans, hassled by Savkovic. Lifts it to this near side to Ghazi. He wants Lopez in on the action. Dodd's right on his back though, and yeah, that's an easy decision for Greg Taylor.
Yeah, we call it touch tight. I think that was a little bit more than touch tight on that occasion.
Any tighter and he'd have been wearing Tim Lopez's shirt.
Don't know whether they're going to swap shirts afterwards, but it was a little bit premature, wasn't it?
It's good to see Lopez, no reaction. No, just got up, got on with it. Free kick, which Nick Hope will take, left-footed. Voyner's gone forward. Carey is an obvious target as well on the far post. Hope's delivery. And that's cleared by by Nick Tyler, I think it was, who got the touch on it.
Yeah, nice area to send that into. There is some height in the ANU players coming forward from the back, and nice delivery as we play on.
Dean's been short with the corner. It's swung in towards the far post, but too much on it, and no problem for Jason Denham.
Yeah, you'd expect a bit more there, a bit more quality. There was 4 bodies in the box, and he managed to overhit all of them.
Denham will look to send this as far as he can. Savkovic came to offer the option, didn't want a bar of it, the goalkeeper. Sends it down towards a clutch of players in front of us here. Voyner climbs highest. Manley beaten in midfield by Sishelja, and Hristic sends it wide. Tyther and Dodd rather in a cul-de-sac here. Dawdled on it a little, and Tim Lopez was interested for a second.
Yeah, you don't get that much time. Certainly in the grand final it's a little bit hectic and good press, but you've got to play quicker.
Good win from Ghazi. Nice touch from Deans. Here's Manley. Deans again. Try to squeeze it down towards Lopez. It's going to find its way to Manley anyway. Chase Deans. Looked for hope, but gave it away. Now here's Cummins. Looking for the runner ahead of him. It's Yardridge. Crouchich and sliding challenge, and Tom Crossy was involved there as well. And it's a free kick to the Knights. Referee didn't want to play the advantage. Happy to call up and give the opportunity for the Knights to send the big men forward again.
Yeah, and I think O'Connor Knights will be very happy with that, so they can set up and get bodies forward. And let's see what they're like delivering this latest set piece. Yardridge
over the delivery. Taking their time to get up there, the men in black. What can Josip Yardridge deliver? Decent ball in as well, and that's Voyner, who's won a fair few of them already, the big central defender. Yardridge straight back over the top again here, and it might come for Hawker. He was interested for a second, and Bradley clutches it comfortably.
Voyner using all his experience there. He started the game very well, put himself exactly where the ball was going to land and won the header.
Yardridge with the foul. Interesting to see, isn't it, that you could see straight away that if they are going to utilise the big fellas forward, the delivery's going to have to be perfect, because Voyner has been in the perfect spot every time to clear those. Yeah, he is. I mean, I'm expecting O'Connor have done the homework on sending their bodies forward for these set pieces, but his knowledge and understanding of the game in the early parts of the game has been superb. Pressure on Nick Tyther by Nick Hope means that ANU have a corner. Chase Deans goes across. I think this time it will be a rather more orthodox delivery rather than the shorter one that came to nothing a bit earlier. And they do have whatever wind it is, I guess, swirling behind them at the moment. Could be a dangerous moment. Lopez making life difficult for Denham right in front of him on the front post. Deans swinging it in towards where Manley climbed highest and got a fair bit on it, the striker, but couldn't direct it downwards.
He's got himself in a great position and could have done better there. He was almost surprised to see it come to his head, and he, I think he should have finished.
11 goals this season from Andrew Manley. A couple of seasons ago in 2017, when they did win the grand final 5-1, he did score 20 goals that year, which is not a bad return at any level. Yeah, and you can see, like I say, he gets himself in good position, so I don't think that'll be his last chance of the game, that's for sure. Decent knock from Denham again. Voyner fell down over the back of Krajicic, who tries to send it through to Hawker. Ghazi's back there, and Bradley gets a fair old whack on that, doesn't he? It's almost a shot. Yeah, I don't know whether that counts as a shot on target, but it's rolled through to the goalkeeper from one end to the other. De Montis clips it forward. Krajicic just pulled away for a second. Bradley got there before Yardridge, and again another monster kick. Good anticipation from Yardridge to try and get onto the ball that went through to the goalkeeper. Crossley. Carey. Crossley again. Runners ahead of him. Couldn't pick anyone out, and it's a wasted through ball. Yeah, and there's a lot of talk about teams go with the wind and get the wind behind them to go and get at their opponents, but the adverse effect of that is it keeps running through to the goalkeeper. Hawker's been caught here by Lopez. Lopez claiming he got the ball. I think there's a fair bit of the ankle of Brandon Hawker in there as well, and he is in a little bit of pain down here. He is. There was a little kick there, but he's also fully aware that he's got the whole O'Connor Knights supporters behind him, who may have encouraged a little bit more than just a word from the referee. Stayed down though, Brandon Hawker. He's in a bit of pain here, I think. Not getting much love off of Dodd, is he? His teammate just stood there next to him. Not at all. If he takes that free kick too soon, he's going to hit him. So checking on him now. Beck Keating coming on to check on Brandon Hawker, who doesn't look in a very good way, does he? I think there may have been a stud involved in there. We haven't got the replay screens today, so we can't check back on it, but Lopez's challenge has left a little bit on the left-sided midfielder.
And I think he's gone and left one in on him there, but I mean, you know, we're early into the game and you'd expect those early challenges to go in and see how the referee reacts. Is he going to get his card out early? Well, on this occasion he hasn't, and I think he's done the right thing, to be honest.
Gives us a chance to look at the benches. Greg Bullock, a forward, David Keir, Nikola Barisic, Thomas Cosentini and Jake Wilsner on the bench for the Knights today. And you, Rowan Peterkin, as we mentioned, their top scorer, Alex Ullman, Monty Grace, Liam Denver and Blake Greenway, the substitute goalkeeper.
And whilst we're looking to the goalkeepers, the last thing that he's want to do is come off the field so early into the game.
It'd be disappointing for him if this does curtail his involvement, and maybe he twisted something as he landed.
I think that's more like it, to be honest.
Walking very gingerly, game's back underway, right in front of us out of your shot, looking in a lot of pain. Hawker, see whether or not, keep an eye on that, see whether or not he can carry on. First impressions would be no. Meanwhile, back at the action, carries ball, looks for Lopez, and he'll be interested in this, and Dodd eats up the ground though with those big strides, and well, there we go. That's a bit interesting as well.
Yeah, a little bit of tussling early doors. They've both reacted to it pretty well, and you know, he's running the ball out of play. They're both going to go for it. One's trying to shadow it out, and the other one wants to keep it in. So I mean, there's always going to be that element of a little scrap.
Mentioned there was no reaction from Lopez when Dodd pulled him down very similarly with that touch type mark there. Maybe that's the reaction just there.
Exactly, and we're going to see that all over the field today, aren't we? You know, there's little individual battles, but you know, that's all part of a grand final, isn't it?
100%, and no real flare-ups. So Hawker's joining us just out of your picture on the halfway line. He's going to give it a go. He's got the all clear from the physio. Dodd looks for the runner. Should be easy that for Voyner.
Yeah, and he looks all right again, and he's running fine. He might be in a bit of pain, but there's also the adrenaline that keeps you going in these type of games.
He's going to get the opportunity to test it now. Yardridge. Hawker. Runs through Lopez. No free kick, says Taylor. And Ghazi clips it forward.
Yeah, you know what? Once you come back on the field after having a kick, or you know, however he hurt himself, you just got to be a bit more intelligent now and just move the ball. You know, he's in a bit of pain and he's trying to get past two players.
Deans found himself with nowhere to go, so played it off Yardridge. Manley win the header. Savkovic in midfield. What pass can he pick here? Looks for Cummins. Stepping in field, Savkovic.
Savkovic is one who's just trying to get on the ball as often as he can at the moment. Start things moving through midfield for O'Connor Knights.
De Montis. Nice turn from Krajcic. Crossley just knocks it out of play in front of the benches where Jim Dawson is stood. Milo Trinic on the edge of the box for the Knights. Peterkin lifts one forwards. Cummins won the header, but only as far as Manley. Mottle straight into Savkovic. Lovely turn in the middle of the park from Hristic, and the ball forward has come off Voyner, and Bradley grabs it. It's a little bit of a cameo there from Robert Hristic. It's passed him by a little bit at the moment, the 33-year-old, but he's got some skills. Yeah,
he has. Well, we think as the game goes on, he's going to come into it more and more.
Mottle on the break. Going to use his pace. Can't find his way past De Montis.
Yeah, great experience from the centre-back there as a late challenge goes in.
Yeah, Savkovic was caught late there, and it's a yellow card here for Chase Deans. First of the afternoon, and I don't think he can really complain about that. He caught the young midfielder who is in a bit of pain himself.
Yeah, and you just wonder, Deans is trying to work the game out so far at the moment. He's not been able to get on the ball and dictate which perhaps that we thought of, and you know, we know he scores a hell of a lot of goals from midfield, but he's been fairly quiet so far.
Managed 5 this season. Savkovic up and about. Wants the short ball as well, wants to get this game going again. He's going to get it. Bit lucky with the rebound, but picks a pass this time to Dodd. That's Carey, just thumps it up the other end of the park. It's been a bit bitty in the opening 20 minutes. No real chances of note.
Nothing at all. It's cagey. A few of the challenges have been going in. There's a lot of pressing. And as a result, the ball retention has not been particularly great by either side as yet. But, you know, that's not uncommon in a grand final.
Dodd sends it forwards, too high for Krajcic, and it'll be easy for Jake Bradley. It's not the last game of football involving Canberra teams this season. Next week, NPL final series sees Wollongong Wolves take on Canberra Olympic, and Balcony United playing City Uni in the women's version of a challenge competition up there. Here's Hawker. Hristic lifts it in. Good win for Crossley, and it's Jardric on the volley off the crossbar. Brilliant effort from Josip Jardric, and Krajcic nearly turned the rebound home. Yeah,
fantastic technique, and it's gone over the top of the goalkeeper. What a great volley with the inside of the right foot. Over the top of the goalkeeper, and the back in possession again. Corner.
Great effort from Jardric, and it almost led to a goal for Krajcic on the rebound as well. Here's a corner for the Knights, and Cavalry comes up from the back as usual.
Yeah, we spoke about Jardric before the game, that he will have that threat, he will get his chances, and very, very unfortunate not to score there. Brilliant effort.
Krajcic with the corner kick. Lifts it in towards Jardric, who got there, and there's a shot from Dodd. And the whistle's gone. I think there was perhaps a foul. Hawker just pulling a player out of the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he's given it for a high boot, but it was more of a low head. In the melee that was going on in the ANU box there. So a little bit unfortunate to be given high foot, if that's what it is.
Closest we've come to a goal, though, with Josip Jardric on a spectacular volley. He has managed to score 10 goals this season, the leading scorer for the Knights. Bradley, another booming kick forward.
Yeah, again, it's that straight ball, though, isn't it? And it's just running through to the keeper on most occasions. They've got considering they're playing 4-3-3 and they've got that width, you'd expect those diagonal balls as opposed to the straight ones through the middle.
DeMontis picks out Jardric. His ball wide, looking for Cummins. Crossley read the situation, though. Jardric wants to get on with it quickly. DeMontis, Savkovic. Finds its way to Dodd via Shashelja. After a fair bit of Danny Krajcic on that occasion, and the forward.
Yeah, and if you're playing a ball down into wide areas in the formation that O'Connor Knights has set up, it's the front two that are going to have to bend the runs into those channels. They haven't got any natural width within their formation.
Bradley again with a mammoth kick. It's going to be something we're going to see a lot this afternoon. Dobb wins the header. Second ball won by Shashelja. Carey in midfield for ANU. Mottle. Crossley. Beaten to it. A bit scrappy in midfield, but here's Shashelja looking to put his foot on the ball. Savkovic. Tyther. And he finds Ghazi. Hope lost out, and other Knights got something brewing here. Here's Jardric. Cummins outside him has asked a fair bit of the right-sided player, and he's not getting there.
Yeah, it was hopping and bobbling around a bit, and ended up going out of play. But it is going to take one of the midfields just to get a grip of the game and get on the ball and dictate it from there. Certainly, O'Connor Knights, with how they're set up, they need the midfield to try and get on the ball more, as they're doing now.
Hristic finds Jardric. Savkovic. Dodd sweeps it right-footed, Crossley intercepts, and here's a chance for ANU through Nelson Carey. Chase Deans. Shashelja back with him, and DeMontis makes the tackle before he can get into his stride. A reminder, in case you didn't see it earlier, the NPL2 20s final was won by Wagga City Wanderers. They beat ANU 3-1. They were 1-0 down. Congratulations to them on their success. Who will join them in the winner's circle? That ball in towards Lopez. He's been a menace so far. He goes down in the area, asks a question, and the question is answered by a penalty kick.
And he's seen that coming, hasn't he? And he just felt that little touch across his back, and he's gone down. And the referee, is he right? Has he fallen for it? But it's certainly a penalty.
Andrew Manley has a ball under his arm. We mentioned it before, that he missed one earlier in the season in the Fed Cup. He's handed responsibility to Lopez himself. He scored twice in the 2-1 win in the elimination final against Queanbeyan City, did Tim Lopez. He's got 9 goals in all competitions this season. He has a chance here from the spot to give ANU the lead. Jason Denham standing in his way. Lopez for ANU, Denham for the Knights. Who will win this duel within a duel? Fairly long wait for Lopez. Here he goes. It's Tim Lopez, and he scores brilliantly. You are not stopping
finish.
Those, are you? Top corner, Tim Lopez. The students have the advantage.
And he's had a quiet start to the game, Lopez. When ANU have been on the ball, it has been going mostly out to the left-hand side, and so he's not had much of an impact, but wow, did he just do that then. What a finish that is in the top corner.
Pressure, not a bit of it for Tim Lopez, and the ANU have the advantage here. Fair to say the Knights supporters felt a bit aggrieved about that.
Yeah, they certainly did. They were upset with how easily the penalty was given. But if there was too much contact, too close, we've seen it all through the all across the pitch in the early stages, and it was just another example of a defender getting too tight again there.
The Knights need to find a response. Important touch that from Tyler as Mottle was bearing in on it. Carey finds Ghazi. Plenty of time left, of course. Don't think there could be two complaints about the penalty decision. Yardridge comes in on Voyner. Lost possession there. We went for the challenge, and it was a good effort from Yardridge to win it, but fouled Voyner in the process.
Yeah, what I noticed about the build-up to the penalty is that Chase Deans was just making a bit of an advanced run. He put the cross in where the penalty eventually came from, and if he's going to have an impact in the game, he needs to play higher up the field, and he's done it once, and a penalty's come from it.
Manley looking to run at Scyther. Deans, nice touch from him, Crossley. Deans again. And you playing with a bit of confidence now. That's the confidence that a lead gives you. Voyner looking for an option ahead. Having a chat with Tim Lopez, who didn't make the run. Krajcic blocking the attempted through ball.
Lopez was far too narrow then. He actually took the run of the other centre forward, and if they're going to settle 4-3-3, I know they're winning the game, but Lopez has got to keep his width if that's what ANU have set up to do.
Here he is with a heavy touch, and Krajcic looks for Yardridge. Peterkin was there. DeMontis. And Cummins took his eye off the ball at the wrong moment for O'Connor Knights.
Yeah, they have been affected by the penalty, O'Connor Knights, giving the ball away cheaply there. Let's see how they respond.
Savkovic's header. It's amazing, though, when you consider ANU's record. 6th grand final in a row. Won the last 4 of... and they're on course at the moment for number 5.
Yeah, and they've certainly got a lot of experience at this stage, and we know it's going to be a tight game, but at the moment we can see why they've got so many grand finals.
They have been premiers 6 times in the Capital League, runners-up 8 times, 7 times champions. Home of former players such as Tom Roddick, now at Celtic, and Luke Pilkington as well.
Yeah, we know, being from the UK, we know a lot about Celtic's Australian wonder player, and he's been great for them in the last couple of years. And you know, are we looking at the next one's going to be off this game?
Yardridge's touch. Knights have a fair bit of pedigree themselves. They've twice been Capital League champions. Runners up on 2 occasions as well. Lopez's ball in. A storied club that's been in the Premier League as well. They were runners up in the Premier League Grand Final and in the league in 2005 at the top level. And they won the Federation Cup in 2008.
And I think both teams, by what we hear, have got ambitions of going playing in the Premier League and that top level of football in this area. You know, they've both got ambitions of that's where they want to go. So, you know, let's see who comes out on top.
Lopez tried to find Ghazi, but Hawker was there. Conor Knights were also Croatian Cup champions in 2004. That beat off the challenge of other teams from Australia and New Zealand to win that competition, proudly on their honours board.
Yeah, I'm sure they absolutely loved that day, but it's quite a long time ago, and things change over years. Perhaps that they want to get back to the top again.
Ghazi's touch. Well, Lopez, the goal scorer, his goal separates the two teams. Carey swings it in, good ball too, and Denham spilt it. Didn't seem to be under any pressure. Got a bit lucky. Here's Carey.
It was a great ball, and it bounced just before the goalkeeper, caused him all sorts of trouble.
Mottle. Crossley goes for the return. Savkovic back there to help out. It says Elgin, rather, I should say. And O'Connor struggling to get their midfield into this at the moment.
Yeah, and that's what we spoke about a little while ago. I think whoever's going to win this game, it will be who win the battle in that midfield area.
Cummins. Back to Denham. He's looking a bit nervy at the moment, the big keeper.
Good pressing, though, from ANU. Yeah, the tails are up, so they feel that they want to advance up the field as often as they can. And again, putting the keeper under pressure and they're back on the ball.
Ghazi with the throw. We'll get another opportunity to do just that again. Just past the half-hour mark if you tuned in. NPL2 Grand Final 1-0 to ANU. A penalty from Tim Lopez separates the two teams. Ghazi's throw once more. Found hope with it. Midfielder happy to come back to Voyner. Yeah,
and just a bit of controlled possession now from ANU after they've scored that goal. They're keeping the ball much better.
Here's hope.
O'Connor Knights are doing the chasing.
Flag's gone up against Chastings. Easy decision for Cameron Shelton on this near side. Haven't seen much of Knights as an attacking force for a while. They'll be hoping to rectify that fairly soon.
Well, we know that there's danger there from that great chance to hit the crossbar, and they'll certainly get other chances during this game.
Yardridge's battle with Voyden has been one to watch so far. Carey. Mottle. Give him time to turn and try and pick a pass for Lopez, who's got pace. And he might get in here, Tim Lopez. And a combination of good defending from Dodd and brave goalkeeping from Denham, who made the decision and came.
Denham on his guard there. He got out quickly and dealt with that ball over the top. Good goalkeeping, good start position.
Lopez finds Ghazi. He can only find Savkovic. Hawker with his back to goal, and all he can do is concede a corner. A chance for ANU to load the penalty area once more. Voyner, the obvious target.
Denham's asked for the ball to go back to there. He wanted the short little set, and so he could clear his lines, but decision was made to put it out for a corner instead. Decision making was questionable on that occasion. And it just puts O'Connor Knights under unnecessary pressure, I would suggest. Great chance for ANU.
Hope's delivery towards the far post. Easily dealt with. Krajcic just shrugged off the ball by Deans. Goes the long way round. Chase Deans. Still in play. Well, I thought it was.
I did as well. I don't think he went out. The linesman on the near side was a little quick, and I think there's a change.
We're going to see an early change. Brandon Hawke has not recovered from that early ankle injury, and Jake Wilsner will replace him. Good midfielder, Jake Wilsner.
Yeah, Wilsner's likely to have an impact in this game, which is great. But Hawkey, you've got to feel sorry for him. He's 36 minutes into the game, and I'm sure he wouldn't want it to come off so early. But that ankle injury he's just not recovered from.
Had some experience of playing at the Premier League as Wilsner. Is Manley. It's Van Ghazi. Danger signs again for the Knights. Hope curls one towards the far post. It was dipping as well. And to his credit, I think Denham had it covered all the way.
He had it covered, but received the ball very, very well and tried bending one into that top corner. It was a good effort.
Especially with the unpredictable wind floating around Deakin Stadium today. Savkovic.
You could say he hoped it would have gone into the top corner.
You could say, but I won't. Carey. Crossley lifts it forward, and way too easy for the Knights. 10 minutes to half time, and 1 goal the difference. Tyther looking for Krajcic. Fouled by Vojna. It's a good foul to give away in the position that they're in, right on the halfway line. Chance for Dodd perhaps to lift something in towards the edge of the penalty area. Not many black shirts to aim for at the moment.
No, bodies haven't gone forward like you would expect, really. They've kept 4 in here and play short.
Shelja. Here's Wilsner, his first touch of the ball. Savkovic. Back to Dodd. Should be picked up by Crossley. In between the 2 black shirts that were converging.
And ANU look quite comfortable for those balls delivered in and around the box. They're just stepping out and winning them.
Wealth of experience across that back 4, of course. Yardrich. Off he goes, and he tries his luck from range. And why not, considering what he did a little earlier? His effort coming back off the crossbar, the closest that O'Connor Knights have got to a goal so far this afternoon. Jake Wilsner was a top scorer for the Knights in 2018, so not a bad player to bring on. Got 5 to his name this season as well.
Yeah, and expect him to get more chances again today. Good pedigree. Surprising maybe that he didn't make the starting 11, but he's got his chance now, and let's see what he can do. Well,
unsurprisingly, Bradley's going to send this one again. With a kick like that, why not? Hope. Wilsner. Shirt pull on Max Mottle and a free kick to ANU in a dangerous position.
It was quite an easy decision to make for the referee there. He's put the ball around him and grabbed hold of him. It's right in front of the linesman. It's quite an easy decision to give.
Andrew Manley standing over the ball at the moment. He's going to walk away from it though and leave it to Tom Crossley. He does deliver a wicked free kick, Crossley.
He does. I'm surprised Hope's not going on over towards the ball as well. I've seen he's got a sweet left foot. He could have bent it in, but looks like they're going for the outswinger with 3 at the back post.
Crossley to deliver, swings it into a dangerous area. Denham clutches it and looks to get the O'Connor Knights on the counter. Yardrich, Savkovic. Now here's a chance for Josip Yardrich to show his pace. Ahead of Peter King, ball in behind the back. Danny Krajcic. The challenge comes in. Did he win the ball? He did. A cracking challenge from Hope.
And a brave decision from the referee based on what we saw up at the other end before. But he did win the ball after a fantastic move from O'Connor Knights. Great counter-attack, swift attacking play, great possession. And the centre-forward will find himself unfortunate there. But he did win the ball, I'm pretty sure.
Wasn't much of an appeal from Krajcic, to be fair. Yardrich's pass was brilliant. So it was more of an appeal from the crowd than anyone on the field.
Yeah, the ball behind that put him in was great, but yeah, it was the fans appealing for it, as you would expect from the O'Connor supporters.
Dodd finds Savkovic. Wilsner. Just a little reminder, though, to ANU that they need to be on their mettle when the break's on. Shishelja turning into trouble here, but he's got himself out of it nicely.
Yeah, he's done well, and they're certainly in the game, aren't they, O'Connor Knights? It's a tight game.
Cummins sends it forwards. Peterkin was in the way. Montemontis. Yardrich, was he caught there? He was. Free kick, O'Connor Knights. There have been a fair few of these in the first half.
Yeah, and he's calling for a card there. It's not a yellow card. If you're giving yellow cards for decisions, for, incidents like that, there'd be no one left on the field. You have to send everybody off. It's a little late challenge. He's nicked him, but he's up ready taking the free kick. He looks fine to me.
Here is Yardrich looking to find the runner outside. Savkovic. Back to Yardrich. Nice cut back too. Manley recognised the danger and went with him. DeMontis lifts it in towards the box. Voyner sends it away. Now Lopez, who was one-on-one for a moment. His touch let him down though. Cummins. Here's Wilsner. Across comes Peterkin. Only finds Dodd with his clearance. Shashelja.
Nice play.
Chance for Tyther to blast one at goal and got a fair piece of it, but no accuracy from the central defender who come forward to join the attack, but it was better from the Knights.
Yeah, and he's given a corner. He must have taken a deflection. Lovely, intricate passing towards the edge of the box, and as he's hit the shot, it's hit the hip of the centre half, I think, and gone out for a corner.
Well, no one in black thought it had. They were all retreating for the goal kick, but they've got the corner. Swung in, good one too. Claiming a high foot, but Voyner dived into it, if anything. Lopez. Carey sends it forward. Savkovic comes across and gets a good toe on it.
It's a lovely ball down the line. And it's ANU's time for a little bit of pressure. Crowd's
built quite nicely since the game kicked off. The stand to our right is fairly full. Stands opposite, fair few in the Ivan Bullen stands. Well, then Knights supporters over that side are located. More vociferous ones to our right, though. Mottle tries to turn. Yeah, and it is busy down this side, but it is closest to the pancake shop, so it must be good. There's plenty of people around it. It's quite a long way from the bar, though. Yeah. Hope swings that across field. Too far for us, anyway. Here's Crossley. Inviting the challenge from Yardrich, off he goes. And just left a foot in, but I think he was fouled in the first instance. Yeah, he was pulled back as he went through. It's resulted in him actually injuring himself, but it's definitely an ANU free kick. I think Crossley was pulled back. I think then he may have fouled Shashelja afterwards, but the initial foul was on the left back from ANU. Into the final 3 minutes of the first half, and ANU in the ascendancy. Knights forced to make a change, and a goal down to Tim Lopez's 25th minute penalty. And Crossley from the other side. Voyner's gone to the back post, just out of your picture, and Lopez and Manley on the top of the box. Crossley lifts one in towards Voyner on the far post, who wins a header and nods it in. He's been dangerous in the air all afternoon. He scored the winner last week. He's doubled ANU's lead here today. A captain's goal on the big occasion. And that sums up his first half, doesn't it? He's been absolutely fantastic at the back. Confident, and he believed that the keeper wasn't going to get there. Maintained his run, kept his eye on the ball, and a great header into an empty goal. A tight angle to knock it in from there as well, wasn't it? And it needed to be controlled, and he controlled it perfectly. Yeah, and that's what the experience does, He never gave up on that ball coming in, and he got his rewards. Fantastic header, great goal. Plenty to do for the Knights. And the team talk in 90 seconds plus whatever is left. If stoppage time is going to be very big for Mirotrinic. If his team are to come back into this, what they can't do is afford to concede a third before the break. They've got to maintain the composure, at 2-0. Dangerous scoreline, as they say. And going into half-time 2 down isn't the end of the world. And there will be a few strategic changes to be made, if it was me. Perhaps have a look at how they've settled with the formation. They've been extremely narrow in the first half. And, they've not got the full-backs on that they may have wanted to. And with that, ANU have closed them through the centre of midfield more often than not. They say 2-0 is the worst scoreline to go into at the break. Might get worse. Here's Manley. Well, he hit one on the turn. Instead, he takes on Tython and wins the corner. Would rather be 2-0 up, though, wouldn't you, than 0-0?
Always. Oh, you always want to be goals up. People say, yeah, dangerous scoreline, but it's more dangerous for the team who are 2-0 down, isn't it?
Well, you'd think so. There's still time into stoppage time. Well, we've got 30 seconds plus stoppage time to go. An opportunity once more for Voyner to get himself into the penalty area. Nick Hope coming across to take the corner, and Voyner's actually stayed at home, surprisingly. He sent Ewan Peterkin forward instead.
They have done. I think they're shoring up the back door for before half time.
Hope swings it in towards the far post where Carey climbs. Couldn't get a piece of it though, and it will be a goal kick. Didn't see a board go up. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe they don't have one. I'm going to guess 3 minutes.
Yeah,
it's always 3 minutes.
The fourth official, Nathan Shakespeare, he's putting the board up now. Going to go for 3, are we?
2.
2.
Should have stuck with it. Is it 3? I can't see.
There you go.
3.
Yeah.
Well, they say a football match lasts at least 93 minutes these days.
Yeah, they are indeed, and certainly when you get injuries that we had on the near side earlier in the substitution, plus the 2 goals, not surprised that there's at least 3 added minutes.
Time for the Knights perhaps to get themselves back in it. Time for NU to put another nail in the coffin perhaps.
One chance here, they could kill the game off.
Been on the front foot for most of the half. Closest the Knights have come, that super effort from Yardridge, which came back off the crossbar. Deans is sniffing something out here. Into the penalty area, goes down under the challenge. And nothing doing, says Greg Taylor. Well, that was a big call.
Wow, it's a free kick all day long. I think it's just outside the box, but it's right on the edge. But either way, nothing given. Big surprise.
Perhaps suggesting that Deans initiated the contact. Mottle comes inside, drives one goal. An absolute belter from Max Mottle. Has made it 3-0. Pick that one out. A goal to befit the occasion from the winger.
What a strike. We've looked at him being on the outside with his left foot for the most of the half, and he's just cut inside and unleashed one in the top corner. Great strike.
We said there was time for them to perhaps put the nail in the coffin. That might have done it, and in some style. If 2-0 at half-time is a dangerous scoreline, 3-0, well, it's a long way back for O'Connor.
Yeah, and what a team talk the O'Connor coach has got to get them back into this game, because at the moment they're just all over the shop, and ANU are pressed to O'Connor Knights to death, really, and they've not been able to deal with it. But what a goal that is.
Max Mottle scored 7 goals this season prior today. I haven't seen all 7 of them, but I hesitate to guess that none of them were as good as that.
No, certainly in the pressures of a grand final as well, and he's unleashed a strike with his right foot.
It fairly flew in the net past Denham. As soon as it left his boots, it looked destined for one place and one place only, and that was the back of the net. Dodd. Kracic. Nice run from him, and he fires one goalwards. Comes out as far as Hristic. Savkovic. Hristic. Good pressing from ANU. Savkovic. And Crossy smacks it clear, only as far as De Montis. And that's half-time. And Ian, a couple of minutes ago at 2-0, we thought it was difficult for O'Connor Knights. That third goal from Mottle has made it almost impossible.
Oh, and what a strike to, you would think, almost kill the game off by half-time. They have had the better of the two teams, most definitely, and what a goal on half-time, and it's given O'Connor Knights really, really something to think about at half-time. There's a little bit of an incident at of the players going off the field here.
Not sure what's got this going, but there's a bit of push and shove there. Yardridge was involved as well, and some angry O'Connor players for some reason. Didn't see what initiated that, but Josip Yardridge is livid with maybe the officials. I'm not sure. Yeah,
and we were analysing the first half, and then a little spat got on between two players, and you know, it's just going to boil over due to frustration with O'Connor Knights, and I don't know what they're unhappy about, because Yeah,
Maybe something was said off the ball. I wasn't sure. I didn't see it. And there's a chat going on between the match officials. And Miro Trinic is down there, the head coach of the Knights. Greg Taylor laying down the law. Nathan Shakespeare making sure there's nothing untowards in the tunnel. But there's some very angry O'Connor players for whatever reason. I mean, it can't just be the scoreline.
but the facts are the facts, Russ, and the facts remain that it's 3-0 to ANU at half time, and you know, they've taken the chances that they've got, and we'll see the attitude and how O'Connor come out for the second half. But for me, change of formation, and they've got to go for it. They've got nothing to lose. It's a grand final, 3-0 down, and they've got to throw the kitchen sink in the second half for me.
Will they do so? We'll find out in the second half at half-time here in the NPL2 Grand Final. It's ANU in complete control. Tim Lopez with the penalty, Jan Voyner with a header, and a stunner from Max Bottle means at half-time it's O'Connor Knights 0, NUFC 3.
Please welcome back O'Connor Knights and ANUFC back to the field for the second half in this 2019 NPL2 first grade grand final here at Deagon Stadium.
Welcome back to Deagon Stadium, second half of the NPL2 Grand Final, where it is all in ANUFC's control. They lead 3-0 thanks to first half goals from Tim Lopez from the penalty spot, Max Mottle's belter, and a header from their skipper Jan Voyner. Amras Gibbs, your commentator, joined him as he did in the first half. Ian Worthington. Ian, there was a little bit of a contretemps as the players went off at half time. Probably didn't help the mood in the dressing room for the Knights, but Milo Trinic has his work cut out with that half time conversation.
Yeah, it's going to be in a heated dressing room, no doubt, but has he sorted something out? Is there going to be a change in formation? We'll soon see, but for me, to get back into this game, O'Connor Knights have got to be more expansive. They've got to have more players going forward in wide areas to try and break down this ANU midfield, which, along with the back four, was superb in the first half.
And at the risk of stating the obvious, they probably need to score next.
Well, yeah, and if ANU do, it's game over, I would have thought, if it's not already. But, you know, stranger things have happened. Let's see what happens in the second half.
Knights getting underway. I'm having to put my coat on. Ian's already got his cagoule on.
Yeah, I brought my cagoule with me. I've learnt from previous weeks of being too cold, even for an Englishman.
Voyner puts pressure on a Bradley straight away. And Peterkin does really well in the first instance and then lets himself down with the lack of a use of a left foot, let's say. Quick rundown of the teams. O'Connor Knights, Denham, DeMontis, Tyther, Dodd, Cummins, Savkovic, Shashelja, Wilsner, who came on for Hawker in the first half, Hristich, Karacic and Yardrich. For ANU, Bradley in goal, Ghazi, Peterkin, Voyner and Crosty across the back, Hope, Kerry, Deans in midfield, Lopez, Manley, Mottle, the front three. If you just tuned in, rewind the tape, have a check out on the 47th minute, Max Mottle's goal, the third of the afternoon. Well worth a look. Stunning strike off the right foot as it sat up for him. No keeper in the world stopping that one.
Yeah, amazing strike, wasn't it? Just set up, little bounce, and he hit it on the full, top right-hand corner. Keeper, no chance.
Be interesting to see what approach ANU takes to the second half as well, with a 3-goal lead.
Well, they've set up the same. There's no change, and they will expect O'Connor Knights probably to come at them early in this second half, and they've got to. They've got to get out the traps. They've got to press higher, and try and get a goal back as quick as they can.
ANU on the front foot to start the second half, though. Manley has got the run on Tyther here into the penalty area. Andrew Manley slides it across goal. Here's a chance for 4, and it is turned in on the far post by Lopez again. His second of the afternoon, and that could well be that this early in the second half.
Well, we said that O'Connor Knights have got to get the goal back to get into the game, and it was a quick counter-attack, to be honest, wasn't it? A great ball across the box, and Lopez there, easy tapping at the far post.
2 for Lopez, just like he got in the elimination final victory over Queanbeyan City, and the mountainous task that O'Connor had has just got even harder. Difficult to see where they go from here. Playing for pride, you would think, unless they can turn something remarkably around in the next 44 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be a test for control of emotions and see see whether O'Connor Knights keep going at it. Do they get frustrated? You know, but wow, what a battle they've got on their hands now.
Denham sends it forwards. Kerry wins it in midfield. Hristich forces it wide, where Wilsner was trying to get it under control.
But let's look at where the goal came from, or the counter-attack came from. Again, you know, they've set up the 3 at the back, O'Connor Knights, leaving those wide defensive areas so exposed, and that's where ANU exposed, and they got the ball on the left, a great ball across. And on the other side, again, there was nobody to pick up Lopez.
Credit to Andrew Manley as well, whose run and creativity created that goal. Now here's Josip Jadric with the corner for the Knights. They've thrown plenty of bodies into the penalty area. Coming in on the far post was Dodds. And that came off the head of Voyner, I think, perhaps. Dodd got the last touch.
If anything, it was a foul. ball's come in, he's lent into him, but the referee's given a goal kick.
On the bench, Greg Bullock, the forward, 6 goals this season, and Thomas Cosentini, another forward, 4 goals this season. Might well see both of them sooner rather than later. But they may as well go for it. As you mentioned before, we talked off air about this earlier today, Ian, as we were driving to the match, about just going for the game. You may as well. If you lose 5-6-7-0, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and, you know, you've got to be brave with nothing to lose. It's a grand final, you know. People remember who wins, but they don't always remember what the score is. So at 4-0 down, to get back into the game, you've just got to go for it.
And UFC, in their last 4 grand finals, have scored 21 goals at this level. Phenomenal, really, isn't it?
They're certainly a team for the big occasion, as they've shown again today. First half dominance, 3 goals, and then an early goal in the second half.
Not surprised by them either, considering they knocked out Belconnen in the Federation Cup, and they pushed Canberra FC to the very limit. And that's 2 of the better sides in the Premier League this season, the top level. They'll get a chance next season to push for promotion. The winners of NPL2, and it will be the league winners, I'm led to believe, will be promoted.
Yeah, and 12 months down the track, you know, I genuinely believe that that's what they're going to try and go for. They've got aspirations and they're ambitious to go and play as high as they possibly can. Neither
of these sides would be out of place in the Premier League with their support base that they bring, considering the amount of people that are at this venue at the moment.
Yeah, O'Connor Knights have got a junior section, haven't they? And they've got, you know, the team in the grand final today. They're trying to get that infrastructure right to try and get into the top level. And as we've seen with ANU in, you know, their 20s or reserves, whatever we want to call it, got to the grand final before as well.
Good at every level, ANU. They've got plenty of state league sides, and the women's teams playing in a couple of grand finals today at state league level, I'm led to believe. So
yeah, we played ANU's women's team in a pre-season tournament, and although we won the tournament, ANU were the hardest team we faced throughout the whole competition.
Crossley and Krajic having a foul together, and decision win against Danny Krajic. Tom Crossley using his years of experience to win that one. And he's gone quickly with a free kick, looking for Lopez, who's on a hat-trick here, of course. And Lopez almost stole in at Denham.
Yeah, there was they weren't too sure in the back there, and he just nearly nicked in, and he's one away from his hat-trick, of course.
Trishelja, Savkovic. Tyther. Ball wide for Wilsner. Couldn't quite get it under control, though. There is movement on the bench for O'Connor Knights. A couple of players ready to come on. Hristic is going off. Thomas Cosentini comes on as expected. Nikola Barasic is on as well. Coming on for Danny Krajic, who's worked hard. Nikola Barasic, formerly of Canberra FC as well.
Robert Hrstic and number 10, Danny Krajic.
Game sort of passed Hrstic by, doesn't it? He's got a lot of quality, but they couldn't get him on the ball.
That's it. They just didn't get in the game enough. I'm a little bit surprised, considering it's the 4-0 down that they've taken a forward player off. I would have probably added one on and sacrificed something a little bit deeper. But that's what they've gone with.
Barasic will bring a lot of youthful energy, and Thomas Cosentini, as I said, 4 goals this season, has an eye for a goal. Good win, that. For Dodd, and he's felt it though. He's twisted an ankle. Last thing that Milo Trinic would need is an injury to his defender, having made his 3rd substitution. Ball's out in the car park. It's worth keeping an eye on, isn't it? That's the coach killer, isn't it? You make 2 changes, you've used your 3, and someone gets a knock straight away.
Yeah, I mean, he's had to make the changes because you would hope that they're going to have to get on the front foot and get back in the game as soon as they can.
Gone quickly with this corner. Swung in towards the far post. Voyner wins the header. Crossley gets rid of it. There was a bit of afters there. It's a good challenge from Aldi Cummins. Across on Max Mottle. Really good challenge.
Yeah, it was. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too late in the game. It needed to happen early doors, you would have thought. But
That one's from the heavens from Savkovic.
I thought we were going to have to edit up here then, Russ. It's it's gone way up past us.
Well out of the picture. Crossy with a throw right in front of the commentary position. Nice and high here at Deakin Stadium. Good view of the surrounding hills. Yardridge's touch.
The beautiful
Savkovic.
Canberra backdrop, as we see to our left. It's always good to come here. Great view. And the only thing we're lacking at the moment is one team actually getting into the game and making a contest of it. Because at the moment, ANU are just well in front.
Barisic's touch. DeMontis slides in. Shashelja. Barisic. Looks for Yardridge. Peterkin gets in there first. And there's a challenge from Josip Yardridge there. Whether he slipped or whether he tried to make the challenge. Free kick is the upshot of it. Greg Taylor adamant. Bit of an apology there from Yardridge to Peterkin, I think.
Yeah, they've both gone in for it. They're both committed, aren't they? And yeah, I think the free kick was the right decision from the referee. He's done well there.
Yeah, no further sanction required on that occasion. Crossley launches it forward looking for Mottle. DeMontis challenge to him. Manley picks up the pieces. Looks to skip inside if he can of Tyler, who stood his ground at the expense of a corner.
Be interesting to see what ANU do here. 4-0 up. They've not sent the two centre-halves forward like they did in the first half mostly. And they've just stayed back here. And as their experienced players a little bit older, I think they're just preserving their energy levels to ensure that they don't concede at the other end.
Chase Deans will take it. Kerry's on the far post. Manley's in there on the penalty spot. Lopez in front of the goalkeeper. Manley's peeled away, and he did win the header. Knocked it down into a dangerous area, but there's no one in a blue and white shirt to take advantage of it.
No, it was a deep corner, wasn't it? And if you've got your two centre backs up, that's effective, but not at this time. Back on the attack though.
Straight away, header was won in midfield by Kerry. Manley has been cleaned out late there, and the shot came in, but the whistle already gone, and there's a card. And is it Barisic? I think it was who's made the challenge. The substitute. He's only been on for 5 minutes.
He's just come on as sub. He's late in the challenge there. And I was almost going to say it's for persistent fouling, but...
Well, he might be the unlucky one.
Yeah.
There's been a fair few, hasn't there? And sometimes you're the substitute and you make the challenge. There's been 5 or 6 beforehand, and you're the one that picks up the card. It's
certainly not persistent individual fouling, because I think it's his first one, but maybe the referee's just saying, listen, I know you might be sharing it out throughout the team, but enough's enough.
As the sun comes out over this free kick, Hope behind it. Got a sweet left foot. It is within range for Nick Hope. He's only got 1 goal this season, though. Maybe Manley will take it. Manley has. He chipped it towards goal, and in the end, it was neither a cross nor a shot. It was easy for Jason Denham, who launches it forward, looking for Costantini. Hasn't had a touch since he came on. Peterkin. Deans. Crossley's ball, good one too. Here's Mottle, a little bit of space for him to run at DeMontis. Plenty of black shirts ahead of him. Manley arriving now, and DeMontis stood up well and not only won the challenge, wins his team a goal kick. Good piece of defending. Good
defending. He tracked him, and it seems that the winger's better off coming on the inside, as we know from his goal that Mottle prefers to come on the inside, and he's less sure on the outside.
Fair to say that none of his teammates were busting a gut to support him, were they, apart from Manley?
And I don't think they will do. I think they're just going to sit and try and see the game out without conceding a goal.
Savkovic, Costantini, Barisic, DeMontis, Shashelja, Cummins. Better football from the Knights. Costantini's got goal side of Peterkin briefly. He's done him with a bit of skill, but Deans is back to help out his teammates. He found Lopez and Crossley. Knights back in possession with Cummins.
They are seeing a bit of the ball at the moment, aren't they? The press isn't as high from ANU. They get around the ball still, but they're allowing O'Connor Knights to have it, but in areas that's not going to hurt them. Nice and compact behind the ball.
Shishelja. Barisic. Yardrich is... Well, there's a free kick there. I'm not sure who that was on the far side. Lost it amongst the black of the fans.
Yeah, Lopez is the latest to get a booking. I think we're going to see a fair few more of them now. The referees start to get his cards out. He's seen constant little fouls going on, and he's now he's bided his time.
So Wilsner, in fact, who was fouled. And a chance for the Knights to swing something into the penalty area. They've still got half an hour. Swung in towards where Bradley is, deflected off of the head of Chase Deans, I think that was. Bradley had to be alert. Most he's had to do this afternoon.
Yeah, it was, and he's dealt with it well. He's not switched off from the free kick, and they've nearly helped him out there of ANU. Nearly got one back for O'Connor Knights.
Well, Chase Deans doesn't mind a goal in the grand final. I'm sure he wasn't hoping to break his up this afternoon with that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's what he was thinking before the game, if he was going to score.
It's a good header. Fair bit on it.
Perhaps he guided it back into the keeper's hands. Let's give him some credit. He knew exactly what he was doing, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Something from the training pitch. Good win from Dodd, landed on Lopez. He's not a small human. Kind Dodd, is he? That would have hurt.
No, and he's definitely got the height advantage. You'd expect him to win those challenges. But Lopez has done the damage on the ground.
Here is Lopez. 2 goals today, one from the penalty spot, and the fourth a minute into the second half. Carey, who's been nice and neat in midfield. We've got to pick the man of the match today as well, which is interesting here.
Yeah, I think there's a few to choose from so far, isn't there?
A few contenders.
Yep.
Deans. Carey. Good run from Carey. Lopez. Manley's touch. Finds Hope. He tried to help it out wide to Mottle.
Just couldn't get the ball out wide, which is where Mottle's got so much room out here. Even though they're winning the game 4-0, he's still staying out here, taking that risk, and they're getting him on the ball a lot.
Voyner's touch back to his keeper. He'd be in with a shout, wouldn't he? The skipper for player of the match with his goal and his overall defensive ability. Savkovic has had a right old swing at someone there, and he gets a yellow card. Fair to say we saw that one coming.
Yeah, he's been nibbling around that midfield for quite a while now, and the referee's seen that, and well, yeah, it's a booking. He can't just swing out like that.
Students have a free kick. They've not made any changes, of course. They've still got their top scorer on the bench and they're 4-0 up in the final.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of movement over there, but like you say, there's no changes as yet. They've been great without him, though, haven't they?
Not bad to bring on someone who's got 15 goals this season. Peterkin's launched that towards Lopez. Dodd won the ball. Carey's picked up the pieces. He's had a good game in midfield as well, Nelson Carey.
And that's where ANU have certainly had the upper hand, isn't it? We said earlier on that it's going to be a tight battle in midfield, and ANU are certainly on top in there. But as well, it comes from a controlled back four. ANU have just been solid, experienced, dealt with the balls as they've come through, and fine leader or leaders in the 2 centre backs.
Manley tried to win the header. Carey got involved with Barisic in midfield. Shishelja swings the boot at it. Crossley sends it forwards. Should be okay for De Montes to tidy up. Cummins. Cosatini holds the ball up nicely. Shishelja. Savkovic.
Switches on.
Good ball forward.
Much better from O'Connor now.
And Yardrich has gone for goal from a long way out. Spotted Bradley off his line. Hugely ambitious, but when you're 4-0 down with 27 minutes to go, you've got to try anything.
He's tried it there. He'd do well to beat the keeper from that distance. We have seen it before. But O'Connor Knights have stretched ANU there, and they didn't make the most of the chance.
Thomas Cosatini's made a bit of a difference when he's come on, with his been able to hold the ball up, bring others into play. He's looking to get on the end of this ball as well, and Bradley was quickest to it.
Yeah, not quite, and just over hit.
Third of 3 grand finals we've done live on Bar TV Sports. Yesterday, Gungahlin United turned around their remarkable season, started 6 points behind everybody else in the Premier League in their first grade competition and thrashed Tigers FC 5-0. Tigers ending with 9 players. And then the women's grand final, dramatic conclusion to Anthony Jagarinic's reign as head coach of Belconnen United. Last minute winner from Caitlin Munoz, giving Belconnen a 1-0 win after extra time against Canberra FC. Earlier today, you may have noticed that Wagga City Wanderers won the NPL2 20s 3-1 win over ANU. Didn't go their way for ANU in that one. Looks like it's going their way today in the first grade though. 25 minutes to go, 4-0 to the good.
We've seen some great football over the weekend, haven't we? Some tight games, some games that have just almost run out of control for one team, and we saw that with Gungahlin yesterday eventually. And that you know, hats off to Gungahlin. They've had a good season, but that was a great performance from them yesterday.
Bottle. Carey.
And again, just before that, the Belconnen machine continued at the expense of CFC. But, you know, that was a great game, and very unfortunate for CFC in the end there. But there were some great performances in that game.
Cummins picks off that pass. Peterkin finds hope. He'll look to lift that one forward towards Manley. And across came Tyther. 35-year-old's got a fair engine on him, hasn't he? Still ticking over. Still doing his job.
Yeah, and that's because you want to be involved in games like these. He's probably not want to be involved in this game at the moment as the change is being made.
We're going to see Rowan Peterkin. Tim Lopez, his 2 goals certainly helped ANU to where they are. And Rowan Peterkin, the top scorer, gets a run in the grand final with 25 minutes to go. As we said, not a bad replacement.
Oh yeah, you know, and Connor Knight's back 3 have just looked over to see him coming on and are probably thinking, yeah, the storm hasn't stopped yet, and this guy's going to come and get at us now.
Probably even more hungry for a goal than he usually is, having been put on the bench. Here he is, first involvement, and he's been caught fairly high there from the challenge.
Yeah,
it was Jake Wilsner, and he gets a yellow card as well. Welcome to the game.
And it's a high one. They know the threat that he's going to have, so they've picked him off as soon as he come onto the field. And
on another day, very orange, perhaps, from where we were.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the realms of this sin bin stuff because it's not my favourite, but definitely a yellow. And wow, could it have been more?
In the context of the game, I'm glad it's not. It is a free kick to ANU, and it's Tom Crossley to take it, lifting it in towards Andrew Manning in the penalty area. Denham came again. He's dealt with those crosses reasonably well, Jason Denham, today.
Yeah, he has. He missed the one for the second goal for ANU, but other than that, he's he covers his box pretty well.
Costantini nutmegs Voyner, the first time someone's got past him all day. It's a barrel of energy as well, Thomas Costantini, since he's come on.
Yeah, Costantini, good little bit of skill there, but again, the ANU, when one centre-back goes up to the ball, they've got great cover in behind.
Savkovic, beaten to it by Deans, and here's a chance for ANU on the break, and the numbers are pouring forward. Peterkin's one of them. Rusty touch, perhaps. And then they slow things down. Voyner. Dodd, Yardridge, and he's done him with a little drop of the shoulder, Josip Yardridge, and Ewan Peterkin comes across to help out.
Yet again, they've been so solid, those 2 centre-halves, haven't they? We keep saying it, I know, but, nice creative movement from O'Connor Knights in that forward area, but nothing comes of it.
Yeah, Voyner and Peterkin in the back, and Kerry just in front. Instrumental in ANU's what looks like their victory today is Costantini. Finds Barisic. Not much ahead of him. Savkovic to the left. Gives it back to Barisic. Exchange of passes. Nice touch from Marko Savkovic and a good ball through from Barisic. Better from the Knights. This is wonderful football. And it was almost finished off by Josip Jardic. That would have been up there with one of the goals of the game. That was brilliant.
Yeah, and that's the best we've seen as a team move from O'Connor Knights. That was fantastic, intricate passing. And they got that ball into the wide area, which has been rare. And perhaps the striker should have done better from there.
He's livid with himself that he didn't turn it in. It was a cracking move. And a little glimpse of what O'Connor Knights have in the locker and that we haven't seen enough of this afternoon, unfortunately, from their point of view.
And that's right, we've not seen it, and that's hence why the scoreline is it is. But it's such a shame for them because there is an element of class in there.
Wilsner tries to swing it across. Voyner pushes it forward, but it's a loose pass. Pressure coming on from the Knights, 20 minutes to go. Ball swung in, Voyner again. He's been so good at the back there, just a man mountain.
Just knowledge and experience. He knows where that ball's going to do. He reads the ball coming in, and he's been there every time a ball's gone into the box.
To consider that man of the match option, and I'm sure he'll be in the conversation.
Absolutely so far.
Deans. And used to play some intricate stuff around their own box, and Deans says enough of that. Smacks it downfield, happy to turn over possession. Here's De Montis. Looks for Jardic in behind Peterkin.
He would have been offside. He's let the ball run out of play, and he's made his run too early. And just a chance for ANU just to get the shape back again. You know, O'Connor Knights have had good possession in the last couple of minutes.
That goal right at the start of the second half really took the sting out of it, though, didn't it, to make it 4-0. Any hopes that the Knights had of coming out like a house on fire and getting one back early were nullified within about 60 seconds of the restart.
Yeah, and we thought that O'Connor Knights would come out and press early and be on the front foot, which they were, but they got picked off with a good counter-attack, which, like you say, in effect has killed the game off.
Jardic switches play towards Wilsner, stretching the field. Looks to go through Rowan Peterkin and Ghazi. Ghazi playing it forward to Rowan Peterkin, the substitutes. Manley, Rowan Peterkin again. Manley inside, a bit further to the left was Mottel. Didn't reach him though. Here's Shishelja. Finds Barisic, runners ahead. Jardic one of them, Costantini the other. And slightly overhit from Barisic. I think he was caught between two minds there about whether to go left to Jardic or right to Costantini, and in the end did neither.
Yeah, the ball was too straight, but I'm just looking at finally, you know, O'Connor Knights have gone for a little bit. They've got two wide players now, play through the middle, and they were so narrow in the first half that's why they were picked off in wide areas by ANU, and the 4-3-3 for ANU's worked perfectly for them.
18.5 minutes away from picking up the trophy. Manley is Carey. Steps past one. Can't get past the seconds. Manley wins it back and off he goes. A bit of pace about him too, Andrew Manley. And a sliding challenge from Dodd, and it's a goal kick.
Yeah, referee gave a corner there, but the linesman on that side saw it early and gave a goal kick. Don't know what he's moaning with him about.
Savkovic in midfield. Left that a bit short. Nick Hope was there. Shishelja. Cummins. Costantini robbed by Crossley. Deans. Crossley.
Good possession kept there. It was a bit of a dive into the tackle on the touchline here, but the O'Connor players won the ball.
Barisic. Cummins. Too far even for the whippet that is Josip Jardic to chase. Jake Bradley's been largely underemployed this afternoon. Saw an effort from Jardic come back off his crossbar at 0-0. You talk about turning points in games, and if that had gone in, you might have been talking about a different encounter.
We may have. Unfortunately for O'Connor Knights, it didn't.
Jardic is penalised for a foul on Nick Hope. The wind picks up. And the time ticks away. ANU, as I mentioned, their pedigree, they have reached the Federation Cup quarterfinals twice in their history, in the semi-finals again this year. So they do have some pedigree. They were in the Premier League a few years back as well, before the restructure.
And seeing quite a few of the NPL Premier League games this season, and whilst there is a high calibre of player in that division, looking at some of the ANU players this afternoon, they certainly wouldn't be out of place there.
Their football club's been around since 1962, so one of the oldest clubs in Canberra. O'Connor Knights, by contrast, were formed in 1997. Strong part of the Croatian community, the Knights.
Yeah, and they've shown that today with the amount of supporters that have turned up, and unfortunately for them, I don't think they're going to go home happy.
I was talking to Alex Trinich, Miro's son, beforehand, the assistant coach, and he was telling me there's some supporters come down from Sydney to support the Knights in this one.
Yeah, and
strong Croatian community get behind each other.
Yeah, the Croatian community all supporting each other, and when one of the Croatian teams gets to a final, then they've come down and supported them. But unfortunately, a long journey home.
Cosentini tried the spectacular, didn't quite work for him. Great to see, though, that football is alive at this level in Canberra and Australia as a whole at grassroots level. It's what it's all about, isn't it? Getting behind your local team and your community side. Yeah,
and they've come out today, and it's great that they come to support them. And we saw similar yesterday with Gungal, and they brought several of their club juniors. I even know there was under 10s were in the crowd, so no, that was good.
Kerry for ANU, robbed of it, and an opportunity here. Here's an opportunity for a goal, and they've pulled one back. It was a good strike from Aldi Cummins. All of his own work, really. Yeah, he's robbed him in midfield. He's got on the ball, and he's just slid a lovely ball into the bottom corner to the right of the goalkeeper. But he's had that little to do, the goalkeeper, that he's probably been caught a little bit cold there, as the midfield did for ANU. It wasn't the firmest of strikes, was it, from Cummins? But the placement rather than the power did for Denham. Yeah, he's guided it into the bottom corner, hasn't he? It's a good finish, that. Well, where there's life, there's hope. 14 minutes to go, 4-1. If they get another one very quickly, you never know. And we were just talking about the fans who come from far and wide to support O'Connor Knights, and it's give them something to cheer about. Manly, at the other end, is a chance for Peterkin. Dodd does well, and then just bundles over Andrew Manley. Yeah, Peterkin's come on. He's obviously disgruntled that he's not been started the game, and he's been ratting around and chasing O'Connor's play since he come on. Here he is again. Wins the ball back. Looking for Mottle in the penalty area. That's a great challenge. So apparently it's not. Well, it's not a free kick. It's not a free kick. He's going to get a card as well. On this occasion, the referee has got it wrong. Looked like a really good challenge from Dylan DeMontis, didn't it? Yeah, that's what you'd expect your centre-backs to do. They've got to go in and win the ball, and they're chasing the game, and it's put them back on the back foot. That's why they're unhappy about it. I can understand as well. We are a long way away from it from here, but it looked like a perfectly timed challenge just to block a player that wanted to have a shot. Yeah, of course, he's done his job. Meanwhile, over just out your picture on the right, there's some treatment to O'Connor player. Probably went down in that challenge from Peterkin. Yeah, he did. Down. Peterkin was, like I say, was ratting around, and he was being aggressive on that far side. But it's a little bit too far away from us to see whether it was a foul or not. Well, this is a free kick in a really dangerous position, right on the edge of the penalty area. Chase Deans might fancy this. We have talked about his proclivity for a grand final goal. Yeah, and he was one of the high-end players that we thought would be really on show today, but the ANU have been that good collectively that he's sort of been part of it, and he's been effective, but he's not been a standout because there's been so many standouts. Is this his moment to shine, though, with just over 12 minutes to play? Chase Dean's on the edge of the penalty area. Crossley's there as well, I think, but who's it going to be? It's Mottle driven it into the wall. Manley drives one. And all came to nothing, really. And they're going to get a free kick.
Good wall, and it stood its ground there. And
it was Nick Hope in the end that took the free kick. My apologies. Gets the free kick. And it'll be Crossley on this occasion.
it will, but looks like they're not sending bodies forward, really.
Crossley lifts it into a dangerous area, but it's easy for Denham, who gets us underway with a launched throw ball forwards. Yardrich takes over. To switch the play, and Cummins, the goal scorer, started a march on Mottle for a moment and wins a corner.
Yeah, it was a lovely ball again, but look, they've got some width finally, and that's where they're getting the success that they didn't have in the first half. Yeah, credit to the coach for changing the system, but well done for that. But it took its time, didn't it?
Barisic with the corner. Plenty of black shirts forward, as you'd expect. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Barisic swings it in towards Yardrich, who got a touch on it. He's turned it into a 1-2. Chance for Barisic to deliver again. Decent ball in. Overhead kick, almost. Some sort of stretch at it from Tyther.
Yeah, and, in your mid-30s, it's a bit difficult to be doing overhead kicks from there.
He thought about it, didn't he? And then I think probably thought about it tomorrow morning and work. Here's Peterkin. There's a break on here. Peterkin's got down off the ball. Mottle's going to have to do it all on his own, and Greg Taylor sees that and comes back for the free kick.
Yeah, it was a late little trip on Peterkins.
Just under 10 minutes to go, 4-1 to ANU in this grand final NPL2. It's been a decent watch this afternoon on Bar TV Sports. The weather's held out for us. Have we got any more goals before the end of the season? Last game of the NPL season in Canberra. Canberra Olympics still in action next week in the NPL final series against Wollongong Wolves. Up in Wollongong there. Mottle. Ghazi swings it in. Might come for Carey. Steps past one and tries his luck. Always rising though from Nelson Carey.
Yeah, nothing to lose there though, has he? They're 4-1 up, and really it's O'Connor Knights that have just got to push now if there's any chance at all for them to get back into this game.
Going to make their second change of the day. Max Mottle, who scored that absolute stunner for the third goal just before half-time. He's going to take his departure to a round of applause, and why not? He thoroughly deserves it, doesn't he? With that goal, was brilliant.
Goal of the game, potential goal of the season. What an absolutely brilliant strike it was, and he deserves the credit.
Thrashed it in the top corner. Liam Denver replacing him. Here's Peterkin. Tries to stick it with the outside of the foot towards Denver, the substitutes.
Yeah, he didn't want to use his left foot there, did he? He wanted to whip it around with the outside of his right, and it didn't come off.
And Ewan Peterkin hasn't got a left foot either, has he? So maybe Rowan Peterkin hasn't got one. Both got right feet. Barisic, bit of space for him to work. Looking to pick the pocket. Can't get past Voyner. Very few do. Denver. Lost out in midfield. Dodd to bring it forward. Wilsnap. Dodd again. Overhit ball and easy for Jake Bradley. Peterkin launches it up towards Manley. Nice flick on. Dodd was there though.
And you think with just over 7 minutes to go that O'Connor Knights have just got to really go for it now. High midfield players, they've got to go and join in those front players.
To Shishelja. They turned it over here, and a chance for ANU to break with Manley. No real urgency to it, of course. Cummins came back to challenge. It's found its way to Chase Deans. Crossley. Manley. Went past Stavkovic. Went down in a heap. No foul. Shishelja. Cummins. Voyner was there. Left it for Costantini. Now Jardric might be in behind here. Flag stays down for Josip Jardric. Looks to chip it towards the far post. Throws his...
And that is the first time. Well, we're going into the 85th minute, and that's the first time that I've seen a defensive mistake from ANU. You know, and that's how good they've been across that back line.
We'll have to make your decision on player of the match very shortly. Won by Manley. Cummins. Flick from Costantini. He's looked lively since he's come on.
They've been, O'Connor Knights have been better since the changes, most definitely.
Ryan Peterkin, head down, straight to goal. Runs straight into Dodd, who's been pretty solid at the back there. Crossley, space for Chase Deans. Decides to come backwards.
Yeah, and if you want to play to keep in control of the game with athleticism as well, Chase Deans is definitely a man for that.
Manley slides it forwards. Peterkin, as you mentioned, he's been very aggressive since he's come on. Running out of frustration, perhaps.
Yeah, he has, but maybe that's what the coach wanted to get out of him.
Ball to this near side, and there's a whole swathe of green for Aldi Cummins to exploit. Good ball in, and that's a decent effort as well from Barisic. The substitute spied some glory.
Brave effort. You know, if they come off, they're 1 in a million, so he gave it a good go. Execution wasn't quite there, unfortunately.
With under 4 minutes to go, almost time to pick our man of the match. And who's your vote today, mate?
Well, it's got to come out of the ANU side. There's 4 or 5 to pick from. There's been some brilliant performances. You know, you've got to look at the impact that the midfield have had, and certainly we knew that the midfield were going to be great, including Chase Deans. But it's got to come out the back 4, and I think the man of the match today is Jan Vosner.
Jan Voyner, the central defender, scored the second goal, and has been generally very good from the first minute against an attack which has been full of goals this season as well. He's coped well with first Danny Krajcic, then Josip Jardric, and latterly Costantini and Barisic.
Yeah, and he's had fresh legs come up against him about 3 or 4 times, and he's dealt with, well, both centre-backs have dealt with it, but he's just been in complete control. Every ball that's come in, he's dealt with. And just solid, experienced, knowledgeable in the game, and a real captain's performance, which is leaded and led a great victory for ANU.
Man of the match said number 5 for ANU, Jan Voyner. Substitution that sees Tom Crossley depart the scene, and Alex Ullman will get the last 3 minutes plus whatever time Greg Taylor and his officiating team add on at the end of this NPL2 grand final. Here is Ullman's first involvement, and got into a tussle with Barisic and wins the throw.
I think it's a bit of a cameo appearance for him, isn't it? And just enjoy getting on the pitch for the last couple of minutes.
Well, he took part in the game beforehand as well, so it'd be nice for him to get a win under his belt, having been beaten in that one.
Yeah. That'll be great to see for him, a good experience for him.
Carey forcing his way through the middle, Nelson Carey, and he's looking for Chase Deans, who might get in here before Denham. He does, and Chase Deans ices the cake with the 5th of the afternoon. A quality finish from a quality player. We said he likes a grand final goal. He has got another, and ANU are coasting home.
And we were mentioning before about his athleticism, and he not stopped running, and he's got his rewards there, because When we talked before about who's going to win the midfield battle, we knew that he'd be a big part of it. And not only that, he's then gone and got himself on the end of a great through ball and a lovely little finish.
Always looked favourite to get the head of Denham, didn't he? It was whether he could provide the finish. And he definitely could, with a tidy tuck away, and the 5th of the afternoon for ANUFC. Just really emphasises their superiority on the occasion. As so often happens in these matches, beaten twice by O'Connor Knights during the season. When it comes to the big one, it all turns round. It's incredible how that happens, doesn't it, on numerous occasions.
It is, and on reflection of today's game, you'd be surprised if that O'Connor Knights got the 2 wins during the season. Probably worthy of those wins, but on the big day, the big occasion, as we know, year after year after year, ANU, grand finalist winners.
5 in a row for the students. Their 6th grand final in succession, and 5 wins. They're looking to add some more. Rowan Peterkin wouldn't mind a goal. I would have thought 30 seconds to go. Denver getting involved as well. Now he tries to go one towards the far post. Didn't have enough bend on it. Very,
very ambitious. But, big smile on his face. They know that they've done the job now. And rightly so. It's 5-1, and you can't not say that the best team have won the game, because they clearly have. They've been dominating at the back, led by our man of the match. They've won the midfield battle, and they've taken the chances when it's come up.
We're going to play 3 more minutes at the end of this one. And O'Connor Knights, no doubt, will come back bigger and stronger next season. They're already in the market for some players to improve their squad, I understand. And with promotion to the Premier League and NPL1 on the cards next year, you wouldn't bet against them coming back stronger than this.
Not at all. They're an ambitious club, aren't they? And they'll do the best in the off season to get the existing players who've got them to a grand final in the first place, and then just add some quality to that. And let's expect them to be strong again next year, trying to get that promotion.
Jadric. Shishelja finds Savkovic. Can they finish with a flourish? Costantini tries to squeeze it wide to Cummins, who got their goal today. Savkovic thought about the first time hits and then picks out a better one towards Jadric, who's missed his kick.
And he's
been one of those afternoons for him,
yeah,
isn't it?
He's been flagged offside, but lovely little ball in. He just found himself offside a little bit.
Good pick from Marko Savkovic, though. Great weight on the ball as well.
Yeah, good delivery. Hope to have seen a little bit more out of him, but he's been so occupied by the midfield at ANU that he's had so much defensive work to do.
A lot of chasing to be done around Deans, Kerry and Hope. Peterkin gets there ahead of Cummins, then runs straight into Tyther. Deans gets it back again, Chase Deans. Peterkin's gone down off the ball. There's a little bit of a push and shove with Tyther, and Manley tries to finish, and all he's done is put it in someone's garden.
Yeah, he has. And that's a tall fence, and he's managed to put it over there.
It's a fair effort from Andrew Manley, that.
Yeah, he's having a shake of the head. I think smiles all around from his teammates, though.
He's managed 11 goals this season, so he has got quality in him. His finishing is usually a lot better than that. I guess in the 92nd minute, when you 5-1 up in a grand final, you could smile about that kind of thing.
Yeah, easily forgettable.
Wins the header. Finds Denver. Loopy ball forwards. Tyther and Dog combine. And he finds Ullman. Manley. A turnover and a chance maybe for the Knights to end on the front foot. Hope. Back to Ghazi. Ullman. Steps in field.
Yeah, good feet. Good feet for a moment. Get round his player. Certainly, O'Connor Knights are looking very tired and demoralised, unfortunately, with the 5-1 scoreline.
Tyther's touch, only as far as Carey. Opportunity to swing this one in towards where Deans was waiting, but Denham has it, and Greg Taylor blows the final whistle, and it was fairly inevitable from half-time, wasn't it? Once Max Mottle's rocket had found the top corner that ANUFC would go on to win this one, and they've done so in some style, and they're worthy winners.
Yeah, they are. And when you go in 3-0 at the break, it's very, very hard to come back from. And that goal, what an amazing goal on the stroke of half time. It pretty much killed O'Connor Knight's off, and then the early goal in the second half pretty much ended it as a contest.
Plenty of good attacking intent from ANUFC. Our man of the match, though, was the defender, Jan Voyn, and that basically goes to that was based on a performance that the Knights did press a lot, and he had to be strong. He had to not only defend well, but get involved in terms of bringing the ball forward as well and leading his team.
And it was a great captain's performance. So, him being in control and confident and reading the play that's going into the box, it settles the team down in front of him and allows them then to get on the ball and play through midfield or play in behind. And it was because of his leadership that it contributed massively to the success of ANU.
Thanks very much for your company this afternoon, Ian. I'm sure we'll catch up again next season here in Capital Football. This is the last match of the NPL campaign down here in Canberra, the NPL2 Grand Final, and it's ended on a high note for ANUFC. They've come up with the trophy at the end of this one. They were always in control of it since Tim Lopez's 26-minute penalty gave them a 1-0 lead. Max Mottle's stunning strike to make it 3-0 just on the first half injury time added to Voyner's header just before that. That really killed the game off as a contest. What did ice it completely was Lopez's second, a minute into the second half. Aldi Cummins pulled one back for the O'Connor Knights, but Chase Deans had the final word with a couple of minutes remaining. They'll get their reward for the season, ANU, in the form of the trophies and the celebrations. You can keep watching that on Bar TV Sports, but from me, Russ Gibbs with Ian Worthington, thanks for your company once again on the home of grassroots football in Australia, Bar TV Sports. The final score of the NPL2 final at Deakin Stadium in a sunny spring Canberra is O'Connor Knights 1 and UFC 5.
afternoon, everyone, and thank you for your attendance at today's NPL2 first grade grand final here at Deakin Stadium. First of all, a big congratulations must go to O'Connor Knights and ANUFC on making the grand final this season. With us here today, we have the Chair of Capital Football, Fran Sankey, to assist with the grand final presentation. First of all, I'd like to start the medal ceremony by congratulating the referees on the excellent job they've done both today and throughout the season. The referees for today's grand final were referee Greg Taylor, assistant referees Alex Toomey and Cameron Shelton, and fourth official Nathan Shakespeare. Before we get into the presentations for today's match, we'd like to acknowledge the premiers of the inaugural NPL2 competition this year. And the premiers for the NPL2 in 2019 is Canberra White Eagles. Turning to today's match, we start off with the player of the match, and that has been awarded to number 8 from ANUFC, Jan Boyden. Sorry, We'd now like to call up the captain of O'Connor Knights to say a few words and introduce their teammates to collect their medallions.
Firstly, I'd say congratulations to you, well done. Massive thanks to everyone who's come out every week, watched us play. Our supporters, you guys are going to get to play as well. Miro, thanks for the years, same with you, Alex. Everyone come back to the Australian Croatian Club in O'Connor. Big on the spear. Let's go, boys. Start walking. Josh, Danny, Adji. No one walked over. Let's go. Sarah, Jay, Audi, Tommy, Jay, Greg. Dave, Jono, Adam, Nick, Dylan, Message, Shorty. Another round of applause for O'Connor Knights. And now for the champions of the 2019 NPL2 first grade, I'd like to call forward the captain of ANU to say a few words and introduce their teammates.
Thanks, guys. Firstly, thanks O'Connor. You guys, hard-working team, really hard to play against. It's my teamwork, so good job there, I'd like to say. Reds, thank you. Good game. Supporters, thanks for making it a good atmosphere. Both O'Connor, you guys are really good. ANU, thanks for your support too. Lastly to the boys, we keep showing up here and doing good stuff in grand finals. Next season's a really important one, but well done on all the hard work today. We got our work we put in for the season, so good stuff. Okay, let's go then, chase us. Chase team. Huey Peterkins. Tommy Crosley. Nick Hope. Nelson Boyner. Matt Dog Peterkins. Tim Lopez. Matty Rice. Isaac Ellis. Alex Dolman. James Garzi. Mike Grace. Liam Denver. Andrew Manley. Maxi Model. Jakey Bradley. Blakey Greenway.
Congratulations to our 2019 National Premier League 2 first grade champions, ANUFC. Now's the time, ladies and gentlemen, to reach for those raffle tickets that you were given earlier on entry. The Caltex Socceroos are coming back to Canberra when they take on Nepal on Thursday, October 10 at GIO Stadium. It's their first home match as they kickstart qualification for the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Get your team together for a night of high-action international football. Fran Sankey will help us draw the winner of a double pass to the match against Nepal. Fran has picked out purple ticket A74. A74. A74, purple A74, for a double pass to the Caltex Socceroos versus Nepal match on October 10. Redraw it is. Fran dives into the barrel for a second time.